Lauren Boebert was super unpopular in her own district. So she moved districts in Colorado to try to win there. And then she did easily. Man, you know, shame, because the primary debate was so fun to watch. But she cleared it. She got like as much votes as everyone else combined, basically. The power of celebrity? Yeah, pretty much. Liberal bastion, Colorado, am I right? I mean, the area that she moved to and ran in both times had like one person per square mile. She still only got 43% of the vote. That's not an only. It was, she got 43% of the vote, but like everyone else got 11%. You know? They're a Dem running against her we can support. That district? I don't think so, no. Who does she even represent then? It's celebrity. In her victory party in northern Colorado, Boebert wore a Make America Great Again hat signed by Donald Trump and Trump-branded sneakers. Incredible.
CBS News Colorado. Welcome to our live update on your 24-hour local news stream, CBS News Colorado. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert has survived her Republican challengers. She will run in her new district, the 4th District, and here are the results. Take a good look at that. Boebert with 43% of the vote. We want to begin with your reporter in northern Colorado tonight, Dylan Thomas. Dylan is with the Lauren Boebert camp up in Windsor. Dylan.
People only pay attention to like national politics, so the fact that she was an incumbent and like people only think of those they've heard on the news and people against them. Like we'll see with the primary with Jamal Bowman, it wasn't like a pro Latimer sentiment, it was an anti Bowman sentiment.
Yeah, and there was a big celebration of victory tonight here in Windsor as Lauren Boebert's campaign now secures their second primary victory in a 2nd district. This one, of course, coming in District 4, which is the eastern plains of Colorado, up into the Weld County and parts of Larimer County, and also, of course, including Douglas County as well, where she claimed an absolutely sizable win here in this district. As you can see from this video here, she had plenty of time to circulate around this room to be able to socialize with those of her supporters here in the Windsor area, some of which tell me they drove up from Douglas County in order to be here for this celebration. And right after she accepted this party's nomination to move forward for the November election, she took time to speak with me where I asked her, what's the difference between this district and the rest of the state? She says, in the end, it comes down to the rural roots and, of course, the fact that there are different priorities and morals here in the Eastern Plains and Weld and Douglas counties than there are probably in much of the Denver metro area. In summary, the Congresswoman spoke about 10 minutes with me about her different priorities. Once again, she says this area is different. In her time moving out of the mountains and into the Eastern Plains, Weld, Larimer, parts of Larimer County into Douglas County, she says she's had the opportunity in 21 different counties to meet a lot of farmers with agricultural plans to move forward with. She tells us in the end, that's what she's going to prioritize moving forward. She said, in a way, that's kind of similar to the area she came from. Even though the Eastern Plains are a lot more flat than the mountains, she said the rural roots of the mountains also carry and translate into the work that she's going to be doing here in the Eastern Plains if she is selected to move forward in November. Once again, she does need to beat a Democratic nominee that she will be facing in November. So once again, a popular night here for Lauren Boebert. A lot of people traveling from around the region in order to see the Congresswoman. A lot of people telling us that they actually support and enjoy the fact that she's outspoken and controversial, telling us they believe there needs to be more of that in Washington, D.C. And the Congresswoman telling us that also starts with getting President Trump reelected in November.
This community is anti-farmer. Yeah, is Kowalski here? Are we allowed to talk without getting hate for it? Yeah, this whole, I mean, what do you think it says about like the demographics of the area if John Deere is in the party, you know?
Reporting live tonight in Windsor, Dylan Thomas covering Colorado First.
All right, Dylan, thank you. We appreciate your live report tonight.
Let's dig into some of these races a little deeper, starting with CD4, the big one. You know, the unaffiliated, there was a big unaffiliated vote here, and I thought maybe it might be closer as a result of that, because unaffiliated voters tend to be anti-Trump. Really, I think, you know, the takeaway from this race is it was a crowded field, and that's what decided this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was crowded. She didn't get, you know, anywhere close to 50%.
Right.
That I don't think that'll have an effect in the general election, but the race being crowded, I think, diluted the fact that she could be seriously challenged.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, almost 60% of voters chose somebody else in this race.
Yeah.
And she
Again, it's like people voting for Boebert or against Boebert, you know? Boss, you okay? Oh yeah, no, I just catching up a text. There's some errands I have to run later. Don't text and stream. Oh, you babies, you text at work. Do you text at work?
she had the power of incumbency. She had extravagantly more money
Right.
to spend, and about 100% name ID. None of the other candidates, none of the other 5 candidates had anything close to that. And yet she still finished well below 50. So yeah, she won tonight, but I don't think it was a glorious win at all.
Do you think that former President Trump's endorsement of her made a difference in this race?
I do, yes. I don't think it was the deciding factor, but I think it did help her, yes.
Yeah, I think it helped early on. You know, making that big switch from moving across the Continental Divide over to, you know, the Eastern Plains, she had to gain some credibility quickly. And one of the candidates, Holtorf, said, you know, game over if she gets the endorsement. And I think that was the situation.
Yeah, the voters sure didn't hold it against her that she had switched districts here.
Apparently not. Yeah, but she didn't get, she was well under 50.
And so I wonder, you know, we heard from Dylan Thomas that, you know, some people were saying, I like that she's outspoken. I like that she's controversial. So she continues to be the same Lauren Boebert.
Yeah.
Do you see what happened in CD3 eventually happening in CD4? Right? I mean, they are very different districts, obviously. You know, one's got the 24-point Republican advantage, the other is a 9-point Republican advantage, but still.
I mean, it will depend on what happens with Douglas County, and if in any way it goes similarly to some of the other Denver urban counties that we've seen with Arapahoe and Jefferson,
Right.
who, you know, used to be solidly Republican, and now find themselves, you know, having a hard time finding any Republicans to be in office.
Right.
If she continues with the embarrassing behavior she has.
Worst
the last
state
3
ever.
years.
You guys are such a reminder sometimes of the viability of my like short good streams, because you could not handle the 30-minute Hassan eating hour. Okay, you could not handle it.
She will turn this district into a competitive,
district.
She will.
Yeah. So talk about the district she left.
I thought ours were 60 minutes. I'm very tired.
You know, I think much was made of her leaving because of Democrat Adam Frisch and how she barely beat him in 2022. But I think, you know, what I was hearing from Republicans in that district is they thought she left too because she was worried Jeff Hurd was going to beat her, that she wouldn't have even.
I feel like so often at a lower level, these conversations never actually get at why these races are the way they are. Oh, God left the audio. I guess you can't hear that.
Glory to God!
Lauren Boebert can be beaten in the general election. Lauren Buttburn, please don't do that. Don't do the cringy like liberal ass silly goof names. Don't do the Drump thing. We're not Drumping here. Just say the name.
Glory to God! You guys are absolutely amazing. I wanted to see some more numbers come in. You know, I've seen lots of videos of folks riding bikes or having foot races, and they see that finish line and they start rejoicing and slow up, and then the opponent passes them by. And so, as I said, our priority here is to honor and glorify God, to honor those who have fought for our great nation, to preserve our freedoms, because we truly live in the greatest nation this world has ever seen. America.
Praying for sexism to overwhelm whatever other impulse the Republican voters have, and for them to like reject her purely on account of her being annoying. It really is crazy how much leeway you can get as a Republican while believing in literally nothing except total fealty to Donald Trump, you know? Wearing like the Donald Trump hat. It's I know this may seem crazy because it feels like it might have been a million years ago, but like holy shit, dude. It is not normal for representatives from like local area, like people running in a district or whatever, or like state politicians or even congressmen to base their entire persona on fealty to the current presidential candidate. That is very, very weird.
Will rise again. And I'm so excited that you all are here to be a part of it with me. I'm happy to be alongside of you in this fight as your next Congresswoman from Colorado's 4th District. The left-wing media is going to have all sorts of things to say. You know, maybe I'm a percentage point lower than what they think I should have got. And they say, oh.
Dumb question. What's stopping people from running Republican then switching to Democrat? I mean, just that you would have to like fake an entire history of your political, you know, interests, and then like for what purpose would they do this?
Oh no, she's in trouble. We're going to have a lot of push polls from the Democrats saying that they can defeat me. We know the people who are here in this district. We know this is a Republican district. We know we have work to do, and we know that we are going to have a landslide victory November 5th in CD4. You know, and if any of you are talking to folks...
It seems effective enough when conservatives do it. Yeah, that's because they don't, like, pretend to be Democrats, then turn out to be conservatives. What actually happens is that somebody offers them a boatload of money. Slightly different process. Yeah, I do remember this one. Anti-police Satanist runs for sheriff as Republican in New Hampshire. That one was pretty good. That's pretty funny. Republicans in New Hampshire nominated an unconventional candidate for sheriff, a self-described Satanist whose campaign slogan disparages the police. Aria DiMezzo, a trans woman, her early 30s, become a minor celebrity. It's a good ass meme. No one knows who the f they're voting for, especially for, like, sheriff, you know?
Folks about me and you have trouble saying my last name, just please, if you say Boebert, don't say Lorena. Remember, I'm not French. Just because I don't know who my dad is doesn't mean I don't know I'm not French. Boebert. This right now is the time for us to educate the people that are around us, to have fun, and to take the lead in joy. We could be serious in our efforts. We could be serious in the fights to come, but be happy. Happy, joyful warriors. Because God has given us a weapon, and that weapon is what gives us our strength. That weapon is called joy, and that joy is not a suggestion. It is a battle plan. It is our strategy into victory.
What the f does that... What is that even... I know it's like weird culty Christian nationalist fascism. I understand like the general vibe. I mean, I guess I should remember, like, to these people politics is all vibe. Like there's no actual, they just hear like keywords and they freak out. It doesn't mean anything. Do you think Boebert can be ousted by the Democrat in November in this district? No.
God called us to fight the good fight of faith. We know that there are battles ahead, not just one, there are many. We need to get engaged at the local level and begin to take our state back. And we have to stay informed and never be lulled to sleep by the enemy again. Don't ever let anyone say that your voice doesn't matter, that your vote does not count, because it absolutely does. And we live in the greatest country where people have fought and died for your right to vote and participate in who is sent to represent you.
She's not particularly great at doing the cult shit, though. Yeah, but, like, you have to remember, it's not like it's not like movies. Not every serial killer is like Hannibal, right? In reality, the kinds of people who fall into this stuff tend to be, like, pretty stupid, and the kinds of people who advocate for it tend to also be pretty stupid, you know? It's like people fall for phishing scams that begin with the Nigerian prince bit. You know, people fall for that shit. I mean, that's what this is for, right? This is just that on, like, a political level.
I want to say I have one opponent as of the last time I looked at my phone who called me to congratulate me, and I want to thank Commissioner Jerry Sonnenberg for his humbleness, for his heart throughout this race. Commissioner Sonnenberg even had a staffer who sent out a tweet without his approval that was a little too mean for his liking. And the heartfelt apology that he gave to me in person is something I will never forget. He is still our commissioner. I look forward to working with him. I look forward to unifying all of the opponents, all of the candidates who are in this primary race for CD4. Because you matter, and I want the people who are close to you to still be in that fight for you, for us, for our children, for our country. We've defeated the Uniparty a couple of times this year. The people have spoken. They do not want the uniparty representing them. But
Insane banshee. Yeah, it's all, but there's not even anything to like respond to. Uniparty. This is like a pretty common fascist trope. The idea that like the GOP and the Democrats are both the deep state, but by the GOP she means whatever elements of it are not in favor of Donald Trump. You know.
what you do want is a
Right.
unified Republican Party that puts America first, and that's the representation you are going to get. God bless you all. I love you. Thank you.
She doesn't say anything. But yeah, but that's always how it is. That's always how it is.
It's a new district for you. I mean,
Oh,
what's
thank
the
God
vision
the audio's
now that
better.
you're
Thank
the
God.
one who's going to be leading the Republicans in this district?
Yeah, so I am the nominee for a new district in Colorado, but I'm not new to Colorado. This is where I've grown up. This has been my home. I have been fighting for all of Colorado my whole life, and especially the past few years. Before I even thought of running for office, I was fighting for Coloradans. I was fighting for our children. I was fighting to close loopholes in our system that allows illegal aliens to vote in Colorado elections. I was fighting to repeal the National Popular Vote Compact, and I decided to take this a step further and use my voice to represent millions of Americans, not only here in Colorado, but all throughout our great country. So my values are absolutely still the same. I am a conservative. I have a proven track record of that. My
What does America First even mean? It means supporting Donald Trump and a white ethno-state.
voting record shows that I am a conservative and that I am a fighter and that I do not back down from a fight. I know that when those in power try to stop my legislative process, I still have a voice to speak out and deliver for Coloradans and for Americans. So the values are the same. I want limited government. I want fiscal responsibility. I want to shut the dang border down. And I want to put our children first and their safety and make sure that we have prosperous lives all throughout our country. So while the crops may be slightly different here in CD4.
Speaking of Hitlerite vibes, man, the like weird seething guy in the background with the fresh cut and the cross necklace, it's very on point.
The values are not, and my fight has not changed. My voting record comes with me, and so does that tenacity for America.
Congresswoman, you won the last election by 300 votes in the other district. Now you're up by nearly 30,000 to your next opponent.
Oh, I'm so sorry that 9 News got that wrong. I won my last election by 546 votes.
546
Yes.
votes, excuse me. What do you say to your critics who say she only moved districts?
I've answered this question many of times. So yes, I have a change of scenery in life. I'm not the first person to move to a new place. I have stated time and time again that this was a family first decision. It has been very publicly documented, unfortunately, what was going on at home. And I needed to put my children and myself ahead of all of that and create separation. And of course, we evaluated what's going to happen next in Congress. But this was a family first decision, and this fresh start has been amazing for my children. The folks who personally know my children and interact with them now since moving here can see a night and day difference in just the overall joy that they are experiencing. And I'm honored to be here in Windsor.
You got Jesse over here on your side.
Jesse!
Yeah, Colorado 3 was the district that she was in before, right here, which is massive and highly rural. 730,000, 2-to-1 rural urban, 2/3 white. And Colorado 4 is somehow mostly urban, actually. Like 3-to-1 urban rural. Median household income 110 over 67. Oh man, that's so fitting. So Lauren Boebert went from the district that actually was majority rural to the one that has the wealthy suburbs outside of Denver with like a ton of white, like rich white people. And those are the ones more likely to vote for Lauren Boebert because A, they're more white, and B, they're like wealthy Trumpites who are upset because they don't like how liberal Denver is. She found her crowd, yeah. People who are more like concerned with the broader national culture war. Isn't District 3 basically the Rockies? Yeah, basically. Also, District 3 is a lot more competitive. R+7 versus the 4th District, which is R+13. Kicking out Latinos will crash the agricultural system. It is literally never going to happen. Literally never. The east part of Denver is basically Kansas too. I mean, yeah, kind of like how the east part of Washington and Oregon are basically Idaho. There are a lot of rich white people living in ski resort towns in the mountains, unlike the eastern plains. I guess that makes sense. The district is mostly rural leans Republican, though not as much as the neighboring 4th District. However, the Democrats have a strong base in counties on the I-70 corridor of Puebla, as well as ski towns such as Aspen. Oh, it's saying that the ski towns are actually majority Democrat. Or at least they lean Democrat. Got a tiny little moth in here. Shoo. I'll tolerate moths in my studio, but you have to not be in my face, man. That's high middle class, not rich. I'm pretty sure that in terms of their voting propensity, like what direction they lean in, upper middle class people and wealthy people are basically the same. I could be wrong on that. Like there might be a very slight point difference, but you know, if you're making like 150 or 200,000 a year and you live in the like rich white suburbs or whatever, you're probably in the same voting block more or less. Temporarily embarrassed millionaires.
Did you ever have a doubt that you were going to win the primary here, and what was your reaction after you kind of the year you've had politically and personally?
So Jesse is asking if I ever had a doubt that I would win this election. And, you know, I came into this knowing that I was going to have to work, but that's okay. I'm always putting in the work. I've put in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles over the years, connecting with thousands, tens of thousands, and even more voters all throughout the state. And so the work never was something that I was afraid to do. I did not come into this treating it as a coronation. And even this weekend, you know, I have those thoughts of, did I miss something? Is there something that I'm not seeing? Is there someone I didn't reach, didn't talk to?
Wow, I didn't realize the margins were that close, dude. Holy shit. No wonder Lauren Boebert moved over to Colorado 4 instead of Colorado 3. In 2022, I remember this now, but like, holy shit, those votes, man. Look at how close she got to being BTFO'd by the Democrat in the general there. Good lord. As an incumbent, yeah. Didn't she lose her hometown too? I believe so.
Didn't spend enough time with, a phone call I didn't make, and you know, I had peace going into this election knowing that me, my wonderful team, my family, my support group of friends, we have done everything that we possibly could to obtain this victory, and from there on out it was all in the voters' hands, and I'm so honored that they have chosen me to represent them in Washington, D.C. again.
What differentiates this district, northern Colorado, the Eastern Plains, and into Douglas County from the rest of the state?
So, I mean, most of this district, we have 21 counties in CD4, and most of it is a very rural district. I mean, of course, you have parts of Larimer and Weld County, and then you have Douglas County that are more suburban in areas, and then the rest of it is very rural. And this is exactly what I've been doing or representing in Colorado's 3rd district. I think a lot of folks lose sight of all the farming and ranching that takes place, the agriculture work that takes place in Colorado's 3rd district, and actually it makes a lot more sense to me now, because for so many years we were out there waving our hands saying, how has everyone forgot about us? And coming here, people don't even recognize and acknowledge all of the hard work that goes into western Colorado and southern Colorado. But the 3rd and the 4th district, they border one another in the southern parts, and you know, these are the farmers and ranchers that I have been fighting for on the Natural Resources Committee, passing legislation for, advocating for, creating jobs for, and so I'm very excited to continue that work, to continue to grow with farmers and ranchers and those who are in the ag business, ag community on a much larger scale, to see how I can better help them. But then also, I mean, in Douglas County, look, inflation is impacting all of us. The open border is impacting.
I'm sorry. She had like a brief moment where she was committed to pretending that she cares about local politics, but then, you know, you go back to the whole thing. What do you mean submissive, Lily the Gaylord PhD? Jesus Christ, she looks awful. Look at the boots too. This is the area they're celebrating in. This area is like 72% urban too. Remember, nobody loves to pretend they're rural more than rich white suburbanites, you know? It's the same reason that every like son of the owner of a contracting business buys a Ford F-150 that they like drive to and from the job in, even though they never haul anything. Never stops being awful to see an elected official publicly pray. Yeah. They buy Ford Raptors. Yeah, F-150 might actually be a little bit, like, modest for them, you know? Has she just been moving districts when she loses? Well, she moved districts here because she anticipated a loss. You'll have to rewind, Lilycrem. Not true, the son of the developer at my high school drove a Hummer. A Hummer? That's crazy. Man, Hummers, like, fell out of fashion really, really quickly. Boebert campaigned on ending earmarked funds, which in practice means her district never got anything of value, which is why she got in CO3. I don't know if it's necessarily that, because I feel like the average voter has no idea what earmarking even is. I wouldn't be surprised if she was just like embarrassing. Also, her presence in the area probably galvanized the Democrats in the district, you know? Can you imagine being a Democrat represented by Lauren Boebert in a purple district, you know? Like the embarrassing behavior probably drove down interest from local Republicans and up interest from Democrats. The Ford Raptor's new King Ranch edition. What's a Ford Raptor look like? Oh, yeah. Well, this is an F-150. Is it like an upgraded F-150? Or is Raptor just like the title to it, you know? Crazy, man. You Google F-150 and you see a whole bunch of photos of it off-roading. I see an awful lot of pristine, clean F-150s in Seattle. Raptor's the souped-up one? Okay, gotcha. Not even a little bit, Lily. It's just a trim. $10,000 extra dollars. $1 million extra dollars.